We have all seen them before, waving ever so elegantly in front of your face, and yet we choose to continue ignoring them. Red flags, people. Why do we pretend we don't see them? Why do we pretend we don't see people's red flags? Do we also pretend we don't see red lights and stop signs? You just rage ahead in your car when there's clearly signs of danger approaching? And this isn't just about red flags in like romantic relationships. This is not the time to ponder about that person that you should have been left. These are red flags that show up in places that red flags should never be. Red flags don't belong here. So please remove your rose-tinted glasses and don't get comfortable, because it's time we address a problem that a lot of us have dealt with. The red flag friend. A lot of us have had one or might currently be entangled with this type of person, right? A high maintenance friend. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, at least not in my opinion. And a high maintenance friend, sometimes you have your super low maintenance friends. You can hit them up every 2 weeks. Everything's good. Just seeing what they're up to, making sure they're still alive. And then you have your high maintenance friends who have to know that you're still friends, who have to hear from you regularly, who love being on the phone, who, you just have to give a bit more care and time and attention to. While there may not be anything inherently terrible about that, everybody has their different styles of loving and caring, whatever. But only when it becomes exhausting to be around this person is it a problem. Always having to be on your toes around one specific individual. That's when that high maintenance friend turns into a red flag friend. And who, if not you, is going to call them out on it? Everybody's standard of a red flag is not the same. You have some people who do like too much, like, oh, if you wear socks with sandals, that's a red flag. That's stupid. But there are just some things that normal functioning human adults know that it's like, okay, no, that's wrong. Red flag, back up, leave, move away from me. Or at least that's how we should be. These are the hallmarks of a red flag friend. These are the things you'll start noticing when you sit back and look like, do I have a red flag friend? Or maybe, am I the red flag friend? Number 1, do you find the thought of hanging out with this person one-on-one to like be mentally exhausting? You're drained just thinking about the day you have planned with this person. This is important because you'll probably push the thought off as you being a bad friend, not wanting to hang out, but that is not it. It's just that you've reached this point because you're mentally drained of having to take on all this person's baggage and their drama and their life. You haven't even realized it, but mentally you're checked out. Hanging out with this person has exhausted you already and you're not even there yet. If you have a friend who you found out is bad-mouthing you to other people, that is not your friend. Beware, that is a red flag friend. If you have a friend who is seemingly always bad-mouthing others to you, guess what? They're bad-mouthing you to others, okay? Are they always a victim in a situation when they tell you some story or some drama? Do they always seem to be the one who was the offended party? That's a red flag. They don't take accountability. They're troublesome. If you have a friend who always seems like they're in competition with you, you have a red flag, my friend. A friend who always has to one-up you is not a friend. Real friends celebrate one another's achievements. They don't always look for something in their life that they are doing better at than their friend. This type of friend can also be competing with others in your friend group to be like the top friend. But if you're an adult who has a normal, way of thinking, that'll sound silly to you. But that's because it is. It's unfortunate, but these things happen. People are going to be who they are and people are going to people. And the one thing people do best is disappoint. And I know it sounds super cynical, but I promise you it's not. This is one of the most life-altering realizations you'll ever have because it will allow you to see who and where the problems really are in your life. Right? It allows you to cut free some excess baggage that you've been carrying around in the form of this friend. It gives you a moment to stop and see, what kind of people do I now want to bring into my life? These things have always been there in this person. You're just now realizing it because you've outgrown the friendship. You're starting to understand that you're getting big. You're growing up. This is not fitting anymore. It's not for you. Now, when you start outgrowing a friendship, you realize you don't trust them anymore. You might suddenly crave new friendships, new bonds with people who have the same interests as you. When you're outgrowing a friendship, you might realize, like, I don't have anything in common with this person. We don't talk about anything. You might regurgitate the same stories, things you've heard before, things you've told before, but there's just no new substance here. And the most notable symptom of you having a red flag friend that you are just done with is you don't really care to reach out anymore. And you're okay with that. If you have had or you're currently having these feelings, just know that it does not make you a bad person, okay? You're not terrible for thinking these things. You're not terrible for feeling these things. You're not horrible for expressing these things to your friend. You have to eventually put yourself first. And when is enough with one individual? And maybe some of these things made you realize, hey, maybe I'm the problematic friend. And hey, it's okay as long as you learn, understand, and change. You have to accept whatever discomfort this situation brings so you can move on, because you don't want to end up having or being the red flag friend.